On the eve of our wedding, my fiancée went abroad to find her first love. I immediately turned around and made a high-profile announcement on social media with my childhood sweetheart. My friends were incredulous. After all, I had always been head over heels in love with Lucy Johnson. Even the opportunity for our families to arrange our marriage was something I had struggled hard to secure. When Lucy returned from abroad, she mocked me, saying I was pulling some new trick. But I pulled Emily into my arms and asked with unfamiliar eyes, "Who are you?" The day Jake left the country, I was trending on social media, but not in a good way. His fans were cursing me out on Twitter, saying their beloved Jake was being forced to give up his domestic career and go abroad because of threats. And that evil person threatening him was me, the young master of the Wilson Group. After all, on the day Lucy and I announced our engagement, she appeared arm in arm with Jake in public. The two acted intimately together, attending a charity gala. When reporters asked about the arranged marriage, she just gave a cold laugh and kept her mouth shut, not giving me any face at all. The next day, some so-called objective observers started leaking information. They said that in order to marry Lucy, I had used the cooperation between our two families to threaten the Johnson family, and that's how I got the opportunity for the arranged marriage. They also said that because Lucy had been with Jake before, it aroused my jealousy, so I was taking revenge arbitrarily. The rumors spread more and more fiercely. Even my friends thought I was in unrequited love with Lucy. But in reality, the arranged marriage was proposed by the Johnson family themselves. I wasn't involved at all. After hesitating for a moment, I still picked up my phone to call Lucy. It took a long time before the call went through. On the phone, Lucy's voice was tinged with impatience. "What is it now?" I was silent for a moment, then said, "Where are you? I want to talk to you." Lucy made a tisk sound. "We're not married yet. What right do you have to manage me?" I faintly heard the sound of airport announcements on the phone and frowned. "Are you at the airport? Where are you going?" The irritation and disgust in Lucy's voice were barely disguised anymore. "I'll go wherever I want. It's none of your business." "Ethan, what exactly did I do to offend you? To make you use the company to force this marriage on me?" Lucy sneered. "You were the one who broke up with me back then." I was silent for a moment. In college, I did like Lucy and pursued her for a long time before finally winning her over. But not long after we got together, Jake appeared. More than once, when I was alone, he mocked me, saying Lucy didn't really like me. He even asked if I believed that with just a wave of his hand, Lucy would break up with me. I hinted to Lucy several times to stay away from Jake. But Lucy said they were just friends now, and told me not to be so petty. It always ended up turning into an argument. At some point, posts mocking me as Lucy's faithful lapdog suddenly appeared on the school forum. In an instant, I went from being the so-called campus heartthrob to everyone's laughingstock. In the end, I chose to break up with Lucy. The day I proposed breaking up, she was silent for a long time, finally biting her lower lip. "Fine, let's break up. Ethan, if you have the guts, don't ever come back to me." Later, I really never want to find her again. But I didn't expect that 5 years later, when my parents were choosing a match for an arranged marriage, they would choose the Johnson family, who had offered themselves. And Lucy actually misunderstood that I was deliberately threatening her family to marry her. Lucy, about the arranged marriage. I tried to explain to her, but was interrupted. "Don't worry." Lucy laughed mockingly. "I don't like you, but I won't ignore the company's interests." "Ethan, you just want the title of husband, right? I'll give you that. As for anything else, don't even think about it." The next day, someone spotted Jake and Lucy shopping together in Country. Lucy was holding a bunch of expensive luxury brand shopping bags, her eyes curved in smiles. Jake was holding her hand, their fingers intertwined. In one photo, the two were very close, seemingly about to kiss. The person who took the photo casually posted it on Twitter with the caption, "Ran into this gorgeous couple abroad, so sweet." The post was quickly discovered by numerous netizens. "Oh my God, isn't that Jake Taylor? And the woman next to him? Is that the Johnson heiress?" Meanwhile, a certain Mr. Wilson must be growing grass on his head. What's the use of having power and money? Lucy still likes our Jake. Our Jake is a top celebrity. Who wouldn't love him? People were shouting that Lucy and Jake made a perfect match. Some people even dug up posts from my college forum with Lucy. Oh my God, this Ethan Wilson seemed to use his position as department head to make things difficult for Jake back in college. Seeing that netizen screenshot, I vaguely remembered. At that time, Jake was a member of the department, but he didn't complete his work properly. At the end of the year, when selecting outstanding members, I didn't write his name. In the department head's office, Jake looked angry. What do you mean? Why didn't you give me this award? I need to apply for the inspirational scholarship. Without this outstanding member title, my comprehensive evaluation definitely won't be enough. He implied I was targeting him, without mentioning his dereliction of duty at all. Coincidentally, Lucy came to find me and saw this scene. Ethan, aren't there a lot of outstanding member spots? Why don't you just nominate Jake for one? I shook my head firmly. No way. If I give the award to him, it would be too unfair to those who have been working diligently. But Lucy disagreed. Others may not need this award, but Jake needs it to apply for the scholarship. I didn't budge at all. If he knew he needed it, why didn't he perform well usually? There are many competitions and projects to boost the comprehensive evaluation score. Is this the first day he realized his score wasn't enough? But Lucy argued with me for the first time, accusing me of being cold-blooded and heartless. Later, she added Jake's name to her own competition project. Jake also got the scholarship. Now, this incident was dug up from the campus forum again. But it had completely changed because Lucy was close to Jake. He snatched Jake's Outstanding Member Award. I'm not kidding, Ethan is really petty. I think Jake was from a poor family too. If it weren't for Lucy, he wouldn't have had tuition for his second year. After this was dug up, it aroused the anger of Jake's fans. They frantically doxed me, digging up my accounts on various social media platforms. Even under the pet videos I posted, there were malicious insults. This cat is unlucky to be with you. You're so good at abusing power for personal gain. Why don't you just die? The private messages were even worse. Someone even sent black and white photos of my whole family. Your whole family can go to hell. Several days of cyberbullying left me in a gloomy mood. It happened to be flu season, and I caught a high fever. In my dizzy state, I kept calling Lucy at home, hoping she would come out and explain. After all, it involved my family now. I couldn't just sit by and do nothing. The high fever made me dizzy and aching all over. One call, two calls, I don't know how many calls I made, but no one ever answered. The countless insults online kept swirling in my mind. I felt deep regret rising in my heart. Why did I agree to this arranged marriage? Why did I ever like someone like Lucy? I kept dialing Lucy's number over and over, ready to propose, canceling the engagement the moment she picked up. But the call was never answered. In a daze, I misdialed and called someone else by mistake. Why are you calling me? A soft female voice came through. When I woke up, I was already in a hospital room. A beautiful woman was standing by the bed. How are you feeling? The woman's voice was cool, but concerned. When I saw her face clearly, my eyes lit up with joy. Emily, you're finally back. The person in my arms stiffened. Ethan? I hugged her, unable to stop talking. I had a high fever at home and couldn't reach you by phone. We're getting married in a month. Where have you been? After I said this, Emily paused for a moment, then asked quietly, Who am I? I said in confusion, You're the second daughter of the Quinn family, my childhood sweetheart, and now my fiancée. What are you saying? Emily's eyes widened slightly, her cheeks flushing red. I looked at her in disbelief. What do you mean? Don't tell me you want to back out of the marriage. Emily's eyes flickered. Haven't you always liked? Before she could finish, my gaze turned cold. Emily, we're getting married in a month. Are you playing games with me now? Are you trying to get out of it? Emily and I stared at each other. After a moment, she pressed the call button by the bed. Doctor, come quickly. The patient seems to have a problem with his brain. When the hospital diagnosis report came out, my parents had also rushed to the hospital. The doctor said I had temporary memory confusion caused by the high fever. There was nothing seriously wrong with my body, but it was unknown when my memory would recover. My parents went out to talk to the doctor, leaving only Emily and me in the hospital room. I tugged at Emily's sleeve, looking confused. Did my memory really go wrong? But I remember clearly, we're getting married next month. Emily's breathing suddenly quickened, and she gripped my hand tightly. Ethan, you heard what the doctor said. I like you, and I'm willing to marry you. But if you regain your memory later and find out you married me, won't you regret it? I interrupted her. I won't regret it. I'm an adult. I can take responsibility for my own choices. Emily was stunned. but I can't force you to do something you don't want to do. I hug my legs, feeling a bit dejected. Since I'm the one who got it wrong, let's forget about it. After all, it's my own memory problem. You have no obligation to marry me. The next moment, my hand was grabbed. Emily held my fingers and looked into my eyes. Let's get married. Her breathing was a bit rapid, her whole face flushed red. Next month as planned. I didn't stay in the hospital for long before being discharged. But my family was very tight-lipped about my past, unwilling to say much. Even my phone had been lost somewhere when Emily brought me to the hospital. As for my proposal to marry Emily next month, my parents agreed very quickly. With the wedding date approaching, wedding preparations were also put on the agenda. I dragged Emily around everywhere, looking at wedding rings, wedding dresses, and decorations for the ceremony. After picking out the wedding rings, I sneakily took a photo of Emily and posted it on social media. Picked out our wedding rings together. Someone's taste isn't as good as mine. I thought I would receive congratulations from friends after posting. But soon, my comment section exploded. Huh? Wait, am I seeing things? When did Lucy get plastic surgery? I have to say, it looks pretty good. Are you blind? That's Emily. I was still confused when my best friend, Mark, bombarded me with messages. You dumped Lucy? I typed out a line. Who's Lucy? Before I could send it, Mark sent a location for a bar. Same place tomorrow. Drinks are on me, bro. Tell me all about what happened. The next afternoon, I arrived at the agreed-upon place. As soon as I sat down, a strange man came over. Ethan, how come you suddenly got engaged to Emily? Didn't you always like Lucy? Are you giving up just because of some online drama? Before I could speak, Mark came back with drinks and heard this. Why are you bringing that up? How many times do I have to say it? Ethan's not the type to chase after someone desperately. Who does Lucy think she is? Say that again, and we're not friends anymore. The man looked embarrassed but still shut up. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. I still couldn't help but speak up. What are you guys talking about? I've always liked Emily. Even for an arranged marriage, the Wilson and Quinn families have been close for generations. How could possibly be anyone else? After I said this, I felt the whole place grow even quieter. Everyone was looking at me. A few seconds later, I realized they were looking behind me. I turned around and met an angry face. For some reason, I sensed fury in this person's gaze. Ethan, I've only been out of the country for a few days. What do you mean by saying all this? Just because of a few photos, you react like this. After so many years, you really haven't grown up at all. The woman's face was gloomy. You like Emily, is that right? Fine, then cancel the engagement. Go be with Emily. I was still wondering about this person's identity, but after being scolded out of nowhere, I got angry. Who the hell do you think you are? Of course I'm going to be with Emily. She's my future wife. Why would I be with you? If you're sick in the head, go get treatment. Don't go around biting people. If you don't have a mirror at home, at least you can pee, right? Take a look at yourself when you pee. Do you even compare to one of Emily's toes? I let loose on the woman, and her face grew darker and darker. The woman looked at me in disbelief. Ethan, is this some new trick of yours? I'm warning you not to play too much. Someone behind me tugged at my clothes and whispered, Ethan, what are you doing? That's Lucy, the campus beauty. Didn't you always like her? Lucy? This name that had appeared in my ears several times. I pointed at myself. Me? Like her? The strange reactions from Emily, my parents, and friends suddenly flashed through my mind. I used to like this kind of person? I've told you so many times, Ethan. I agreed to the arranged marriage, but I won't like you one bit. Lucy's tone was mocking. I looked at Lucy, my eyes full of disgust. I must have been blind to like you before. Now I like Emily. Get as far away from me as you can. You! Lucy seemed furious and grabbed my wrist. What are you performing now? The next moment, someone stood between Lucy and me. Emily's cool voice sounded in my ear. Stay away from him. After Emily appeared, I held her hand. Seeing this scene, Lucy's face looked even worse. Ethan, you think doing this will make me like you again? You're trying to use Emily to make me jealous? Don't forget you've used this trick before. I had no memory of this, so I was naturally confused. But I could feel Emily's body stiffen. I thought, oh no, this must have really happened. Seeing Emily's reaction, Lucy went from being furious to calm again. She wore a mocking smile. Emily, you come running as soon as Ethan beckons. You really are a loyal dog. So, What if you've liked him for over 10 years? He never even noticed. How did you feel watching us date in college? I noticed Emily's body start to tremble. She said coldly to Lucy, "Our business doesn't need your comments. You just need to know that he doesn't want to see you now." Lucy sneered and looked at me. "Ethan, I'll give you one last chance. Leave with me. The wedding will go on as planned in a month. I won't pursue today's matter." Or, Lucy glanced at Emily, her smile disappearing. "You keep being stubborn. After today, even if you threaten me, I'll cancel the engagement. You choose." Though she said to let me choose, Lucy's eyes were full of certainty, as if the next moment I would break free from Emily's hand and leave with her. Even Emily's eyes looking at me seemed certain I wouldn't choose her between the two of them. Everyone seemed convinced I would choose Lucy. I was silent. Was I some kind of terrible person before? Lucy saw my silence, and her eyes grew even more mocking. She even reached out a hand towards me. Emily's grip on my hand loosened, her eyes covered with disappointment. Slap! A crisp sound rang out in the air. Lucy covered her face, looking incredulous. "Have you gone crazy?" I hugged Emily tightly, pulling her into my arms and rubbing her hair. "This person seems to be mentally ill. Honey, let's go home. Don't bother with her." After being discharged from the hospital, Emily and I had rarely been this close. I could feel that after I called her honey, Emily's whole body tensed up. Across from us, Lucy's expression was dumbfounded. "All right, let's go home." Emily turned around and buried herself in my embrace. Mark was the first to start teasing us. He pretended to be surprised, getting all lovey-dovey before the wedding. "You guys are too much." Most of the other friends were more perceptive and joined Mark in the teasing. Only Lucy stood sullenly in the corner. When Emily and I left, she stared at me hard, as if trying to see through me. A few days later, Lucy suddenly announced that she was with Jake now. The public was in an uproar. Fans shipping celebrities was one thing, but the actual celebrities getting together was another matter entirely. For someone of Lucy's status as an heiress-to-be with one of their contracted artists, this news was explosive. People speculated wildly, wondering why they didn't see Ethan Wilson making a fuss. In reality, Lucy's parents were already sitting in my home. "Mrs. Johnson forced a smile. "My in-laws, our daughter was being foolish this time. We've already scolded her." She held my hand, speaking sincerely. "Ethan, in my eyes, only you are worthy of being Lulu's husband and my son-in-law. Jake is just an insignificant actor who can't be presented in public. We would never allow Lulu to marry him." I gently pulled my hand away. Although my memory was still confused, I kept a straight face. "No need, Mrs. Johnson. Let's just cancel the engagement. We're not in feudal times anymore, talking about matches of equal social status. I think Lucy and Jake make a good couple. A bitch and a dog, perfect for each other. They deserve each other." Mrs. Johnson's smile froze for a moment, but she continued to persuade me earnestly. "Ethan, Annie knows you've liked Lulu since college. When you broke up with her back then, she was just throwing a tantrum. If you just coax her a little, Lulu will definitely break things off with that Jake right away." I couldn't help but laugh. Coax her? Did she really think the Wilson family was desperate to marry into the Johnson family? In the end, my mom stepped in to end the conversation. "Mrs. Johnson, I think we don't need to discuss this anymore. Our Wilson family isn't lacking in potential marriage partners. We agreed to your proposal back then because we thought Ethan liked Lucy. We misunderstood our son's feelings as parents. Let's not make decisions for the children anymore. To be honest, Ethan is marrying Emily Quinn next month. The two grew up together and have deep feelings for each other. Lucy is a good girl. She should find someone else more suitable." At this point, Mrs. Johnson naturally couldn't say much more. I had lost patience and went to smoke in the small garden at home. But I accidentally overheard Mrs. Johnson on the phone. "You ungrateful daughter. You'll be the death of me. I see you don't have a single brain cell in your head. Didn't you agree to the engagement back then? Now you're with that pretty boy. What's that all about? Ethan Wilson is marrying the second Quinn daughter next month. This matter can't be discussed anymore. Don't call me Mom." The person on the other end seemed to say a lot. Mrs. Johnson had no patience to listen and laughed coldly. "You think everyone will indulge you like your dad? Anyway, I'm not going to manage you anymore." Hanging up the phone, she met eyes with me who was smoking. Her face flashed with embarrassment. In the end, Mrs. Johnson sighed. I'm sorry, Ethan. Lulu is a stubborn child who doesn't know what's good for her. But as a mother, Annie still wants to say, Lulu actually does like you. Is there really no chance for you two? Mrs. Johnson looked at me full of hope. But I shook my head. Annie, why bother? Emily and I are very good together, and Lucy doesn't like me at all. What's the point of forcing two people together with an arranged marriage? After a moment of silence, Mrs. Johnson sighed, nodded, and left. Emily sent me a message on my phone asking which restaurant I wanted to go to for our weekend date. I smiled and forwarded her the latest restaurant I discovered. Emily sent an okay gesture, indicating she would make the arrangements. The gloom in my heart swept away. I walked back into the house with light steps. Bad memories are best forgotten. The news about Lucy and Jake caused a stir for a while. But overnight, all the news was suddenly retracted as if it had never appeared. Netizens were curious, but Jake, who usually loved to post on Twitter, suddenly disappeared. I caught a glimpse of it while surfing the internet, but paid no more attention. With the wedding date approaching, Emily and I were both very busy. A week later, I went to the hospital for a follow-up. Emily wanted to accompany me, but I knew she was busy with work and said I'd be fine going alone. After getting the diagnosis report, I had just gone downstairs when I ran into Lucy standing alone in the lobby. Seeing me, she looked up with obvious dark circles under her eyes. I pretended not to see her, and I was about to leave directly. Ethan, faced with my ignoring her, Lucy seemed unable to bear it any longer. I turned back with a frown. Just spit it out if you have something to say. Lucy's temple twitched, as if extremely unaccustomed to me speaking to her in this tone. About the engagement, she pressed her lips together, not saying a word for a long time. Just as my patience was running out, a man's voice came from behind. Lulu, who are you talking to? Jake came over holding some bags, wearing a mask that only showed his eyes. Seeing me, his gaze darkened, but he quickly covered it up. Oh, it's Senior Ethan. Long time no see. How are you? He went to Lucy's side and took her arm. I'm done with the doctor. Let's go. However, Lucy stood still, staring at me without moving. Jake's expression stiffened. He forced a smile. Right, Lulu just got back from abroad. It's normal for her to want to catch up with you, Senior. He raised his chin, putting on the air of a magnanimous partner. I'll wait for you over there. I looked at Jake, then at Lucy. So you two are really together? Lucy's breathing quickened. What if I say it's true? I nodded. You two are well matched. I wish you 100 years of happiness. But remember to give me 2 wedding gift envelopes. Throwing out these words, I turned to leave. But Lucy grabbed my wrist, her voice filled with anger. After so many years, you still won't listen to my explanation. Why are you always so calm normally, but as soon as it comes to Jake, you become so suspicious? I widened my eyes. What a classic line. Even with my memory loss, I could guess. If there's suspicion, there must be something fishy. I know what kind of person I am. I wouldn't wrongly accuse someone for no reason. I pulled my hand away. Are we that close? As Lucy and I were facing off, Jake suddenly cut in. Senior, please don't argue with Lulu anymore. What happened before was all my fault. Senior, please don't blame Lulu anymore. I smirked slightly. This man really knows how to act. Of course it was your fault. Jake's smile froze. But your methods weren't very good. It's just that the person I chose before was stupid. I glanced at Lucy and said flatly, Excuse me, please move. I need to go home and eat the dinner my fiancée made. But Lucy's focus was odd. You two are living together? She stared at me, her face full of disbelief. I raised an eyebrow. We're getting married next month. What's so strange about living together? Lucy gritted her teeth and came up to grab my arm. Let's find a place to talk. In the struggle, the diagnosis report in my hand slipped out. It happened to fall at her feet. Lucy frowned as she picked it up. Her expression froze. After a long while, she slowly raised her head, looking dazed. Ethan, what is this? Memory loss? Lucy lowered her head, reading the diagnosis report word by word. She looked like she wanted to stare a hole through the paper in her hand. This is impossible. How could you suddenly? Lucy's voice got lower and lower. Seeing that she had discovered it, I couldn't be bothered to pretend anymore. That's right. I really don't remember. I don't know you either. Give me back the diagnosis report. I need to go home. I reached out to take the report, but Lucy pressed her lips together and hid it behind her back. If you lost your memory, how could you agree to marry Emily? I stated matter-of-factly. Because I remember Emily. You remember Emily, but say you don't know me? Lucy's face darkened as she questioned. Ethan, do you think I'll believe that? I sneered. Believe it or not, it's up to you. I don't need the report anymore. Too lazy to deal with Lucy anymore. I turned to leave. As I was leaving, I heard Jake's voice. Lulu, when are we going back? Lucy seemed to be venting some inexplicable anger. Go back where? Don't you have legs to walk on your own? Then she shouted at my back. Ethan, I'll check whether this diagnosis is real or fake myself. Don't let me find out you're trying to fool me. I silently rolled my eyes. A few days later, just as I was leaving the company building, I saw an unfamiliar car. Lucy pushed open the car door, her expression grave. You really lost your memory? I frowned almost imperceptibly. What's it to you? But Lucy seemed not to notice the rejection in my eyes. Come with me somewhere. She stubbornly tried to grab my hand. I dodged her outstretched hand, saying irritably, Why should I go with you? That place might help you remember your past memories. I was half skeptical. What kind of place is so magical? My phone vibrated. I unlocked the screen to see a message from Emily. Are you off work? I stopped paying attention to Lucy and focused on replying. Yep. What delicious food did you make today? Without me noticing, Lucy had come closer and seen the messages on my phone. Her face darkened. Ethan, are you sure you like Emily? Are you so afraid of regaining your memory? Are you really willing to marry Emily in such a muddled state? Lucy's expression was unwilling. I asked the doctor, in your condition, you need to stimulate your brain more. If you come to that place with me, you might remember something. I looked up and met her gaze. Fine, let's go. An hour later, I drove following Lucy to Jefferson University, my alma mater. Walking around campus, Lucy patiently explained to me, Do you remember this? The sports field. When we first got together, we often came here for walks. This cafeteria, the sweet and sour pork from window number 2 was your favorite. Finally, we stopped next to the basketball court. It wasn't dark yet, and many students were playing ball on the court. Suddenly, there was a commotion, and a ball flew straight towards me. Watch out! Lucy noticed the flying ball and shouted. Just as I was about to dodge, I felt someone gently push me. My nose caught a whiff of fresh soap scent. When I came to my senses, I met Emily's gaze. Why did you come here with her? Didn't you say you were going home for dinner? I opened my mouth, about to explain, when a sharp pain shot through my brain. My legs suddenly went weak. Fortunately, Emily was supporting me, or I would have fallen. Ethan? In a daze, Emily helped me into the car, pushing away Lucy, who tried to interfere. Does it hurt? Have some water first. I'll take you to the hospital right away. Emily was panicked and urgent. I grabbed her hand, saying a bit weakly, Wait. I remember now. Lucy's blind cat caught a dead mouse. Her method actually worked. While walking around campus, some blurry memories had started flashing in my mind. The basketball that almost hit me just now became the final trigger. I also understood why Lucy brought me to the basketball court. This basketball court was where we first met. What I remembered wasn't just the beautiful beginning. The later arguments, misunderstandings, all the messiness, and the disappointment and disillusionment when I said the word breakup. And that night with the high fever, the regret, and hatred in my heart. I was very quiet the whole way back. The flood of memories left me at a loss. Emily was also silent the entire trip. When we got home, I noticed the dining table was full of dishes. Because it had been left out too long, the food had gone cold. I'll throw it away later, Emily said in a low voice. No way. I can still eat it if we reheat it, I said hurriedly. Emily looked up. That's when I noticed her eyes were a bit red. I'm sorry. I've been keeping it from you all this time. I've wronged you. The wedding is still a week away. It's not too late to cancel now. Wait. Hearing Emily's words, I rubbed my forehead. Why cancel? Didn't you regain your memory? Emily pressed her lips together. If you want to go find Lucy, I won't stop you. Lucy? I laughed coldly. I do need to find her, but to settle accounts. The next day, I barged into Johnson Entertainment. When the receptionist heard my name, her face changed and she awkwardly asked me to wait a moment. When Lucy arrived, Her expression was joyful. You came to find me? Did you remember something? I nodded. Yes, I remembered. Remembered that I have a score to settle. Call Jake out here. I had timed it perfectly, knowing Jake was in the company now. Before I lost my memory, I had been in a bad state due to the massive cyberbullying and illness. It had let him off the hook for so long. Lucy's expression was a bit hesitant. There's really nothing between me and him. Don't be angry. Those photos were taken by people I hired. Jake was just cooperating with my act. I was just a bit angry that you broke up with me back then. I felt like I'd heard the biggest joke ever. Lucy Johnson, you don't actually think I'm jealous because I like you, do you? Seeing the anger in my eyes, Lucy was rendered speechless. All right, I'll call Jake to see you. When Jake arrived, he had a calm and unruffled attitude. Senior, what brings you to the company? And Ms. Johnson. He hadn't finished speaking when he cried out in pain. What are you doing? Are you crazy? I shook out my hand, smiling coldly. If it weren't for my memory loss, I should have given you this punch long ago. Of all the things you shouldn't have done, involving my family when you were cyberbullying me was the worst. Jake was stunned, seemingly not expecting me to hit him without saying a word. You dare hit me? I laughed coldly. I'm hitting you all right. What? Didn't you buy bots online to spread rumors saying I bullied you in college? Fine. I'm really here to bully you now. What do you have to say? Jake looked angry and turned to Lucy. But Lucy just stood there, frowning. Is what Ethan said true? I didn't do anything. Jake was very nervous but still insisted stubbornly. Lucy, you know what kind of person I am, don't you? Lucy looked at me again, her expression hesitant. Ethan, are you sure you're not misunderstanding something? Misunderstanding? I smiled and turned to Jake. You think your little tricks were flawless? Jake's face froze for a moment, forcing a smile. What are you talking about? I waved my phone, helpfully holding the screen up to his face. The top 3 trending topics all had Jake's name in them. The number 1 trending topic, Jake Taylor, disgusting. Jake opened it with trembling hands. At the top was a post from an ordinary girl. I want to expose the popular male, celebrity Jake Taylor, for sexually assaulting a minor. Not only that, he also interfered in someone else's relationship and was kept by a 60-year-old rich woman. He was even caught by the rich woman's husband and beaten half to death. The girl even leaked many video evidences, completely destroying Jake's reputation. After regaining my memory, I had logged back into my old Twitter account. Looking at those insulting and slanderous private messages again, I was now unmoved. Among the many private messages, I saw one sent by a girl. She had sent me evidence of Jake's evil deeds, saying the victim was her friend. But due to Johnson Entertainment's power and influence, they hadn't dared to come forward and report it. Now seeing me being slandered, she was willing to come out and expose Jake. The premise was that I could protect her personal privacy. As we were leaving Johnson Entertainment, Lucy apologized in a low voice. I'm sorry. I didn't know he had done those things, or that he would buy bots to slander you. I calmly said, it doesn't matter anymore. This is important. Lucy looked at me pleadingly. Let's get back together, Ethan. You've remembered the past, right? Those were all misunderstandings before. The person you like is me, and I like you too. It's all in the past. I shook my head. 5 years, Lucy. I've long since let it go. The arranged marriage, it was the Johnson family who approached my parents. They thought I liked you, but they still asked for my opinion. I agreed at first because I thought it didn't matter. I'd have to have an arranged marriage sooner or later anyway. I smiled. Who I married didn't really matter to me. Lucy pressed her lips together, her eyes urgent. If it doesn't matter, then cancel the wedding with Emily and marry me. I looked at her and laughed. I did like you in the past. But now, I think I've really fallen for Emily. When I got home, the whole apartment was dark. I thought no one was there. Turning on the lights, I found Emily sitting on the couch. In front of her was a coffee table full of empty wine bottles. I looked at her in surprise. Emily raised her head drunkenly, revealing a pitiful expression. You didn't come home all day. Does that mean you don't want me anymore? I gently coaxed her. I told you yesterday I had something to take care of. Look, I'm back now, aren't I? Emily wrapped her arms around my waist, rubbing her face against me. Then from now on, you're not allowed to like Lucy. You can only like me. The drunk Emily was especially childish. Normally, she would never say these things. Maybe because she usually kept her emotions too restrained, I hadn't realized she liked me before. I closed my eyes, thinking about what an idiot I had been before. For the sake of pursuing Lucy, I dragged Emily along to give me advice, asking her what gifts girls usually like. Emily would take me to try delicious restaurants. I thought they were good and said I'd bring Lucy to try them next time. I can't imagine how hurt Emily must have felt back then, but I never noticed. I hugged Emily, stroking her back. Never again. From now on, I'll only like you. Hearing this, Emily let go of me and blinked. Really? I smiled and nodded. I'm not lying to you. The next moment, something soft pressed against my lips with a faint scent of alcohol. Emily was kissing me. She hugged me very tightly, almost to the point where I couldn't breathe. As the kiss deepened, I felt my cheeks become slightly damp. Emily was crying. I don't know how long it was before we finally separated. I picked her up in my arms and carried her to the bedroom. The next day when I woke up, Emily was lying in my arms, sleeping soundly. I kissed her forehead and carefully got up to go to work. As soon as I arrived at the company, my phone rang. Picking up the call, Mark's excited voice came through. Bro, did you see the trending topics yesterday? There are even more exposés today. Someone dug up that Jake isn't from a poor family at all. He was actually quite well off. But he falsely claimed poverty status. And he was apparently involved with that academic advisor in your department. He even snatched someone else's inspirational scholarship. It's all been exposed now. As I listened to Mark, I opened Twitter. Sure enough, today's trending topics were even more dramatic than yesterday's. And because it involved a minor, Jake had already been taken away by the police for investigation. His fans were crying and explaining in various comment sections, but faced with ironclad evidence, no one believed their excuses. They began complaining that Jake's company wasn't taking action. But after half a day, Johnson Entertainment released a statement saying their contract with the disgraced artist Jake Taylor had ended this month and would not be renewed. But the Johnson Group still couldn't escape being implicated. Jake's previous illegal purchase of bots to spread rumors and smear others was also exposed. Among the people he slandered and smeared was me. Jake's reputation was completely ruined. Endorsement brands also terminated cooperation with him one after another, which meant he would face huge contract breach penalties. He had received as just deserts. I couldn't be bothered to deal with Jake anymore. Besides, my wedding with Emily was coming up soon. On the day of the wedding ceremony, I put on the carefully selected suit. My parents and Emily's parents were chatting happily, watching Emily and me stand before them. Emily's mom was grinning from ear to ear. I've always wanted Ethan as my son-in-law. I never thought these two would actually end up together. Emily's face was bright red. She said helplessly, Mom. Emily's mom raised her eyebrows. What? It's not like I'm forcing you. Who was it that always wanted Ethan as her husband when playing house as a child? When he wouldn't agree, you'd secretly come back and sulk? I squeezed Emily's fingers and whispered in her ear. So you've had designs on me since you were little? Emily's face turned even redder. She turned her head away. I couldn't stop laughing. The wedding ceremony hadn't officially begun yet. Emily went to touch up her makeup, and I waited for her backstage. To my surprise, Lucy found her way there. Seeing her, I frowned. What are you doing here? The guest seating isn't this way. Lucy looked at me, her face full of bitterness. So you're really marrying Emily? Ethan, come with me, please. I've already kicked Jake out of the company and will cut all ties with him in the future. Lucy lowered her eyes. I was blind before, which led to our breakup over a misunderstanding. I'll make up for all my wrongs. Can you? Give me a chance? He sighed. Faced with her persistence, I was starting to feel annoyed. Just as I was about to speak, a cold voice came from behind me. He can't. I turned around and met Emily's eyes. Emily shielded me behind her and looked at Lucy. Emily, what are you doing here pretending to be all righteous? Lucy's eyes were full of resentment as she looked at Emily. How long have you two been together? How can you be sure you won't make the same mistake I did? Emily laughed coldly. Of course I won't. Only an idiot like you would be so blind. I, on the other hand, will choose to trust Ethan at any time. Lucy's face darkened. You, enough. I stepped in front of Emily. Lucy, this is the last time I'm saying this. Back when we argued, I hated you and was disappointed. But the moment I proposed breaking up, it meant that relationship was already over for me. I never felt regret, nor did I dwell on people and things from the past. You don't need to apologize to me anymore because I stopped caring long ago. I looked at Emily. Now, I found the person I love and care about again. Lucy, can we leave each other with a more dignified ending? Lucy stared into my eyes, not moving. After a moment, her gaze gradually dimmed, and she turned to leave. The wedding march echoed through the hall as pink flower petals floated down. In the center of the hall, surrounded by family and friends, the priest solemnly recited the wedding vows. I put the ring on Emily's finger, my gaze gentle as waves. I do. Emily smiled. I do too. Confetti burst forth as we kissed amidst cheers and applause.